Hello everyone, welcome to Learn Online. Hope you're all enjoying the classes that we are providing. In today's session, we'll be dealing with trigonometry. Yes, one of the topics which the students think it is very difficult. But trust me people, it's very easy. So in today's class, we'll be seeing all the basics of trigonometry. So what do you people understand by the word trigonometry? You people might have already dealt with the topic in your 10th or 12th. So you might be understanding what trigonometry is by now. So what is trigonometry, people? You tell me. Trigonometry is nothing but a branch of mathematics which helps us to establish a relationship between angles and sides of a triangle. So which triangle are we talking about? It's always a right angle triangle. Whenever we are using trigonometry, we always talk about right angle triangles. So now you have understood what trigonometry is and what it establishes. So why do we use trigonometry? What is the daily usage of trigonometry in our life? For example, let me tell, you're standing on a building here and you know the height of this building and you are here. Forgive me for my drawings. So you're standing here and there is a river flowing next to the building here. You see a cat or some money fallen down on the other side of the bank. Now you need to know the distance from your house to that note. What will you do? Can you take a tape and measure across the river? No, that will be very difficult here. So let me take the note to be here. I'll assume that my building is straight and it is making a 90 degree with the ground. If I know the height of the building as well as the angle at which I will be looking at the note, we can easily find out the distance between from your house to the note using trigonometry. As well as, let us take another example. Let me tell, you're standing down here and there is one building, a huge building here, and you are looking at the tip of the building. You are looking at the tip of the building. Now you need to find the height of this building. How can you do that? If you know the distance between the building and wherever you are standing, the position at which you are standing, and if you know the angle at which you are looking at the building, you can easily find out the height of the building using trigonometry. These are the basic applications. You'll find these applications when we are dealing with heights and distances. Now, what are the advanced uses of trigonometry? Advanced uses of trigonometry are scientists use trigonometry to find out the distance between a planet and a star, or distance between two stars, and many other cases. So trigonometry is a very important branch of mathematics, people. Please understand that. Now, as we all know that trigonometry establishes a relationship between angles and sides of a right angle triangle, let us deal with some more basics before we go deep into the topic. What is that basics? We know that trigonometry deals with angles. So how can you measure angles? You can measure angles either in radians or degrees. So they might end up asking you, they might give you the angle in terms of radians and ask you to find the angle in terms of degrees, or they can also give the angle in terms of degrees and ask you to find it in terms of radians. So how do you do that? Now let us understand the conversion. Conversion of radians to degrees or degrees to radians. Radians can also be represented as C. Now how do we do that? First, remember that pi radians is always written as 180 degrees. Pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. So what will be 1 degree equivalent to? 1 degree will be equal to pi radians divided by 180. So if you know this, you can directly convert radians to degrees or degrees to radians backwards. For example, if I ask you what is 2 pi radians equal to, what will be your answer? You know that 1 pi radian will be equal to 180 degrees. What will 2 pi radians be equal to? 2 into 180 degrees. That will be 360 degrees. Now, what if I ask you to find out pi by 4 radians? What will be the value of pi by 4 radians in degrees? You know that pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. 180 divided by 4. So, what will be the answer here? 4 ones, 4 4 16, remaining 20, 45. So, it will be pi by 4 radians will be equal to 45 degrees. Now, if I ask you what is 2 pi by 3 radians, what is it equal to in degrees? You know that pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. So, what will this be equal to? 3 ones, 3 6. So, it will be equal to 120 degrees. Am I clear, people? Are you understanding this? So, quickly copy this down. Once you are done copying, we will see how to convert degrees to radians as well. Okay, people. I assume that you have all understood how to convert radians to degrees. Now, what if I ask you, what is the value of 60 degrees in terms of radians? How do you do this? You know that 1 degree is equal to pi by 180 radians. So, what is 60 degrees? Pi by 180 into 60 radians. So, what will be the value? Value will be pi by 3 radians. Similarly, what if I ask you what is the value of 150 degrees? What will be 150 degrees equivalent to in terms of radians? We know that 1 degree is pi by 180. So, 150 degree will be 150 into pi by 180 radians. So, what will be the value? 0 0 gets cancelled, 3 5s, 3 6. So, 5 pi by 6 radians will be the answer. So, hope this is clear for you people. Have you people understood all this? So, next let us begin with the topic of trigonometry. As we all know, if you have to understand English, the language English, the first thing that you need to understand is, or first thing that you need to know is alphabet in English. So, which is nothing but A to Z. Alphabets are the basic building block of English. Similarly, for trigonometry, what is the basic building blocks? They are trigonometric ratios. Trigonometric ratios. So, without trigonometric ratios, you cannot learn trigonometry. What are these trigonometric ratios? As I already told you, trigonometry deals with right angle triangle. So, let me quickly draw a right angle triangle for you. And let me name my right angle triangle as A, B and C. By looking at the diagram, we all know that B is 90 degrees. So, I will assume the value of C to be theta and the value of A to be alpha. Now, let us say AB, the distance, length of AB to be as x and length of AC to be as y and length of BC to be as z. Now, look at this people. Now, what are ratios? What are trigonometric ratios? We all would have known that trigonometric ratios are nothing but sine, cos, tan, and inverse of sine will be cosecant, inverse of cos will be secant, and inverse of tan will be cot. So, these are nothing but the trigonometric ratios. So, how to find out the trigonometric ratios for this triangle here? So, let me write down. There are two angles here. Be careful, there are two angles. Which are those? Angle theta and angle alpha. So, first let us deal with for angle theta. I will be writing down all the ratios for angle theta. It will be your job to write the angles for alpha. So, when you consider angle theta, look at this. Which will be the opposite side of the angle? Which will be the side opposite to angle theta? So, opposite to angle theta. Which is the side? The side is nothing but AB. So opposite side is always AB when you're dealing with angle theta. Now, what is the adjacent side? When you're dealing with the same angle theta, which is the adjacent side? There are two sides adjacent to angle theta. Which are those? AC and BC. But which one do you need to consider as the adjacent side here? Be very careful. Be very careful in this, people. Whenever you're taking a 90 degree or a right angle triangle, the angle opposite to 90 degrees, the angle opposite to 90 degrees is always the hypotenuse. So angle opposite to 90 degrees is always the hypotenuse. So which is the hypotenuse here? AC. So hypotenuse will be AC. Which is the side that is remaining? So adjacent side will be BC. What is the value of AB here? Value of AB is X. What is the value of BC here? Value of BC is Z. Now what is the value of AC here? Value of AC is Y. So what is sin theta, people? What is sin theta? You all know sin theta is nothing but opposite by hypotenuse. So which is the opposite here? Opposite is AB. What is hypotenuse here? Hypotenuse is AC, which will be equal to AB by AC, that is X by Y. Now, what is cos theta, people? Cos theta will be equal to adjacent by hypotenuse. So what is the adjacent side here? Adjacent side is BC. Hypotenuse is the same for every angle or anything you take. Whatever angle you take here, hypotenuse will always remain the same, and hypotenuse will be always opposite to 90 degrees. So it is BC divided by AC. BC is X. So sorry, BC is Z, but AC is Y. Now look at this, people. What is tan theta equivalent to? Tan theta is nothing but opposite by adjacent. So which is the opposite side here? Opposite side is X, or I can write it as AB. What is my adjacent side here? Adjacent side is BC. So what is the value of AB by BC? AB is X by BC is Z. But tan theta can also be written as sin theta by cos theta. What is sin theta here? What is sin theta? Sin theta is X by Y. What is cos theta, people? Cos theta is Z by Y. So divided by Z by Y. Look at this. Y and Y gets cancelled. So we'll have X by Z. You will have the same value here as well. So tan theta is nothing but sin theta by cos theta, or opposite by adjacent. Both are the same. So now, what is cosecant theta? I already told you cosecant theta is nothing but inverse of sin theta. So cosecant theta is 1 divided by sin theta. What is the value of sin theta? Value of sin theta is X by Y. So 1 divided by X by Y, which is also equal to Y by X. Am I clear, people? Are you understanding it? So now, what is secant theta? Secant theta is nothing but inverse of cos theta. So what is cos theta here? Cos theta is equal to Z by Y. So 1 divided by Z by Y, which will be equal to Y by Z. So people, if you have understood this, what is cot theta? Cot theta is nothing but inverse of tan theta. What is inverse of tan theta? Z by X. So value of cot theta will be Z by X. I hope you all understood these trigonometric ratios. Now what is your job, people? What is your job? Pause the video here, write the same ratios, the same trigonometric ratios for the angle alpha here. So you can understand this topic better. So quickly copy this down and also write down the values trigonometric ratios for angle alpha. Now people have understood what trigonometric ratios are and how to write down the ratios when a triangle and a particular angle is given. After that, what is the important thing that you need to know? You need to know the values of few basic trigonometric ratios, that is sin theta, for value of theta which is equal to 0 degrees. Sine of 30 degrees, sine of 45, 60 and 90. Same way cos of 0, 30, 45, 60 and 90. Similarly, for all the ratios, trigonometric ratios, you need to know these values. Doesn't it seem very difficult to by heart all these values? So what do we do? First, if you know the value of sine theta, sine of 0 and till 90 degrees, you can write the values of all the others. How do we do that? Let me tell you. What is sine 0? We all know that sine 0 is 0. We must have by hearted this. What is sine of 30? Sine of 30 is 1 by 2. Similarly, what is sine 45? Sine 45 is 1 by root 2. And sine 60? Sine 60 is root 3 by 2. What about sine 90? Sine 90 is equal to 1. Now, if you know these values for sine theta, you can write the values for all the others. How do we do that? Cos. For cos theta, write exactly the opposite values. For example, cos of 0 degrees will be equal to 1. So, you are writing it in the reverse order, writing the same sine values in the reverse order. What is cos 30 degrees? Cos 30 degrees is root 3 by 2. That is nothing but reverse order. Cos 45 remains the same as sine 45 because even when you are writing it in the reverse order, it remains the same. Now, this will be 1 by 2. Cos 90 will be 0. Once you know the value of sine and cos, you can write down the value for cosecant and secant as well. What is cosecant? Cosecant is inverse of sine, that is 1 upon sine. So, what is the value of 1 by 0? 1 by 0, does that have any value? No, that is not defined, or it can also be written as infinity. What about cosecant 30? Cosecant 30 is 1 divided by 1 by 2, that is nothing but 2. Inverse of 1 by 2 is 2. What about cosecant 45? Cosecant 45 is root 2. What about cosecant 60 degrees? It is 2 divided by root 3. Now, what is cosecant 90 degrees? 1 upon 1 will be 1 only. Now, what about secant theta? What are the values for secant theta? Secant theta is nothing but cosecant theta in the reverse order or inverse of cos theta. What is 1 by 1? 1 by 1 is 1. What is root 3 by 2? 1 divided by root 3 by 2, 2 divided by root 3. Same way, this is root 2, 2, and this will be 1 divided by 0. What is 1 divided by 0? It is not defined, or it can also be written as infinity. Now, what about tan? I have already told you tan theta can also be written as sin theta divided by cos theta. So, what is sin theta? Value of sin theta is 0 divided by 1. If 0 is divided by any number, what is the value that we get? We get 0 only. 0 divided by any number is equal to 0. What is 1 divided by 2 divided by root 3 by 2? 2 gets cancelled. 1 divided by 1 by root 3. So, it will be, the value will be root 3. Am I clear, people? What about tan 45 degrees? Tan 45 degrees will be 1 because value of sin and cos are the same. What about root 3 by 2 divided by 1 by 2? Root 3 by 2, sorry, this is 1 divided by root 3 and this would be root 3. Root 3 by 2 divided by 1 by 2. 1 by 2, 1 by 2 gets cancelled. This will be root 3. This will be 1 upon root 3. What about 1 divided by 0? If you now divide a number by 0, what do we get? Again, this is nothing but not defined, or it can also be written as infinity. Am I clear, people? What about cot theta? Cot theta is nothing but inverse of tan theta. What is inverse of tan theta? It can also be written as cos theta divided by sin theta. What is cos theta by sin theta? 1 divided by 0. What is 1 divided by 0? It is always, what is 1 divided by 0? It is always not defined or infinity. Same way, what is root 3 divided by 2 divided by 1 by 2? That's nothing but root 3. You see the values of tan here, you write it in the opposite direction. From the reverse order, you will get the same value, 1 by root 3. And what is tan 0? 0. So, cot 90 will be 0. Am I clear, people? Have you understood how to write this table? For people for people who cannot even memorize these values, what do you need to do? I'll teach you a shortcut. But be careful, people. This is very important and you need to by heart this. This is very important. So without knowing this, you cannot be doing anything in the examination. So you will have to know this table compulsorily. So at least if you know the sign value, I've taught you how to write down all the other values. Now, even if you can't by heart sign value, I'll teach you another shortcut. Let me take two triangles here. What are the two triangles? Let me take two triangles, name them as A, B, C, and the other triangle as P, Q, and R. This is P, people, P, Q, and R. We know that this is 90 degrees in this triangle and angle B here is 90 degrees. The opposite to 90 degrees is the hypotenuse. So now, let me consider this value here, angle C, as 30 degrees. If this is 30 degrees and this is 90 degrees, what will be this value here? What will this value be? 90 plus 30 is 120. So total angle inside a triangle is 180 degrees. 180 minus 120 is 60 degrees. So I'll take this as an isosceles triangle. So here 45 degrees. If I consider this to be 45 degrees, what will this angle be? 90 plus 45 is 135. 180 minus 135 is again 45. Now you know that in any triangle, if two of the angles are same or are equal, the sides opposite to those equal angles are equal. This is the property of the triangle that you need to be knowing. Now, that means RQ and PQ are equal. So, let me write it down. PQ will be equal to RQ. Am I clear, people? Am I clear? In this triangle, let me take the value of, in this triangle, let me take the value of PQ as 1. So, what will be value of RQ? RQ will also be 1. What will be the value of PR here? PR is nothing but the hypotenuse. So, by Pythagoras theorem, we know that hypotenuse square is equal to base square into height square. So, what is the value of base here? Base is 1. What is the value of height here? Height is also 1. So, 1 square, that will be equal to hypotenuse square. So, what will be the value of hypotenuse? Hypotenuse will be root of 1 square plus 1 square, that is nothing but 2. This will be root 2. Similarly, in this triangle, look at this. The side opposite to the smaller angle will always be the least. So, I'll take the side opposite to the smaller angle. Here is 30 degrees. So, the side opposite to 30 degrees is 1. I'll take this value as 1. Which is the next smallest side or the largest side? Okay, let me take this to be, this is my largest angle here. Largest angle is 90 degrees in this. So, which is the opposite to 90 degrees? That is nothing but the hypotenuse. So, let me take hypotenuse as 2 because it is very large and the side opposite to the largest angle should be the largest always. Now, what will be the value of BC here? Same Pythagoras theorem. If you apply, you will get 2 square is equal to base square, which we don't know. I'll take it as x square plus height is nothing but 1 square. What will be the value of x square? 4 minus 1 will be x square. What will be the value of x? X will be root 3. So, this value will be root 3. Now, see people. Now, see, look at this carefully. Now, from this you can obtain values of sine theta. What is sine 0? We don't know. We don't have 0 degrees in both the triangles, but we'll have to always memorize sine 0 is always 0. So, we get sine 0 as 0. Sine 0 to be 0. What is sine 30 degrees, people? What is sine 30 degrees? Where do we have 30 degrees here? In this triangle. Triangle ABC, we have 30 degrees. What is the value of sine? We know that sine is nothing but opposite by hypotenuse. Which is the opposite here? 1. What is hypotenuse? 2. So, what is sine 30 value? 1 by 2. Do we have the same value here? Yes, we have the same value here as well. That is 1 by 2. Now, see, what is sine 60? What is value of sine 60 degrees? Where do we have 60 degrees? 60 degrees is also in the same triangle, that is ABC. You know the value of sine is nothing but opposite by hypotenuse. Now, which is the opposite side? Is it 1 again? No. Now, we have to see the opposite for 60 degrees. The side which is opposite to 60 degrees is nothing but BC, that is root 3. Hypotenuse always remains the same, that is 2. Now, what is the value of sine 45? What is the value of sine 45 degrees? Where do we have 45 degrees? We have 45 degrees in the triangle PQ and R. So, which is the side opposite to 45 degrees? It can be both PQ or RQ. If you take, the value never changes because both the values are same. So, that is 1. What is the value of the hypotenuse in this figure? Value of hypotenuse is root 2. So, sine 45 is 1 by root 2. Now, what about sine 90 degrees? What about sine 90 degrees? Can we find out sine 90 degrees? No, because both hypotenuse in the opposite are the same. So, hypotenuse divided by hypotenuse, we will have 1 only. So, similarly, you can find out the values for cos as well as tan from these figures, or write down sine and use this first method which I taught you. Am I clear, people? Are you able to understand this? This is very important. So, quickly copy this down. Okay, everyone. Now, you have understood how to write the values or the basic values for all the trigonometric ratios, that is sine, cos, tan and all the other ratios. You know up to 90 degrees. Now, what if I ask you to find out all the ratios for 135 degrees, or let us say 225 degrees, or let us say 150 degrees. So, how do you find the values or trigonometric ratios for these values? How can you do that? To calculate these values, the first and the foremost things that you need to do is, you need to know the value or the signs of the angle. It is not SIN sign, it is SIGN sign. That is meaning, if the values are positive or negative. So, is sine 135 positive or negative? Can you tell that? No, we don't know yet. So, what we need to do? We need to understand the signs properly. For that, let me draw a quadrant. If you draw a graph here, these are the four quadrants that you get. This will be my first quadrant, this will be my second, this will be my third quadrant, and this will be my fourth quadrant. And this is my origin here. You know that for all the values, okay, so let this be my x-axis, this will be my y-axis. Again, same x and y. For all the values of x-axis, that is towards the right side of my origin, we all know that all the x values are positive. What about the y values? Y values above the origin are positive. So, what about the x-axis values which are to the left of origin? Left of origin will always be negative. Similarly, for y-axis, below origin will be negative. Now, if I am starting my values from this point here, this will be 0 degrees. What about this? This will be my 90 degrees. So, look at this, this will be 90 degrees. What about this? This will be 180 degrees. And what about this? This will be 270 degrees. And what will this be? It will be 0 degrees, or it can also be called as 360 degrees. For all the angles that are lying between 0 to 90 degrees will come in first quadrant, 90 to 180 degrees will come in second quadrant, 180 to 270 will come in third quadrant. But is sine positive here? Sine positive here, here or here? Is cos positive here? How do we know that? See, we have a basic rule. They have taught this in your colleges, ASTC. What does this ASTC mean? A meaning all the signs, all the trigonometric ratios are positive in first quadrant. Meaning, in my first quadrant, sine, cos, tan, cosecant, secant and cot are all positive. If you know for these three values, that are sine, cos and tan, if they are positive, it is enough to tell that cosecant, secant and cot are positive. Why is that so? Because cosecant, secant and cot are nothing but the inverse of sine, cos and tan. So, in first quadrant, all these are positive. In second quadrant, what is happening? Yes, meaning sine is positive. If sine is positive in second quadrant, it means even cosecant is positive in second quadrant. In second quadrant, even cosecant is positive. So, in my third quadrant, look at my third quadrant, which is positive here? Tan. If tan is positive in third quadrant, third quadrant, which is the other ratio that will be positive in third quadrant? It will be cot. Cot will also be positive in third quadrant. What about C here? This is nothing but cos. Cos is positive in fourth quadrant. In fourth quadrant, my value of cos will be positive. So if cos is positive, which is the other value that will be positive in my fourth quadrant? It will be secant. Secant will also be positive in my fourth quadrant. You will have to know this or understand this so that you can calculate the angles of or the trigonometric ratios for these angles here. But people find it difficult to buy at this ASTC. So what do we do? I'll give you a simple method here. What do we do? Again, we'll draw a graph here which contains 4 quadrants. This will be my origin, y-axis, x and x-axis. Quickly, this will be negative, this will be negative, these two will be positive. Now, first what I'll do, I'll draw a triangle here, a right angle triangle here. So, in this way. So, my hypotenuse, always my hypotenuse will be a neutral. It will not be positive, it will not neither be negative, it will always be neutral. Now, look at these values. If my theta is here, so which is the opposite sign here? If my triangles A, B and C, what is sin theta? Sin theta is nothing but opposite by hypotenuse. What is opposite here? AB. Is AB positive or negative here? It is positive, since it is coming towards the above my origin. It is coming above my origin. So, y-axis is positive. So, value of AB will be positive. Since this is positive and this is neutral, positive by neutral is nothing but positive. So, in first quadrant, we got to know that sin is positive. Now, let us look for cos. What is cos theta? Adjacent by hypotenuse. So, what is the adjacent side here? Adjacent side here is OB. OB or BC. You can take it as OB or BC. BC here. So, is this positive or negative? It's to the right of my origin, meaning this is also positive, and hypotenuse is neutral. So, meaning cos will also be positive in this quadrant. What about tan theta? Tan theta is nothing but opposite by adjacent. Opposite is also positive, adjacent is also positive. So, sin of tan theta will be positive in my first quadrant. Since sin, cos and tan are positive, the inverse angles will also be positive in my first quadrant, meaning all the signs are positive. A meaning all the sign of all the ratios will be positive. Now, what about my second quadrant here? This is done for first quadrant. What about my second quadrant? I'll draw another triangle here. I'll take the value of theta. You can take any theta. You can take theta here or here. You will get the same answer. Let me call this P, Q and O. So, in this angle, what is the value of sin theta? Sin theta is opposite by hypotenuse. What is the value of opposite here? Opposite is nothing but PQ. Is PQ positive or negative? It is positive because it is above my origin. Look at this. Values above my origin are positive. So, opposite by hypotenuse. So, sin is positive here. So, now let me look for cos. What is happening for cos here? Look at cos. What is the value of cos? Adjacent by hypotenuse. Which is the adjacent side here? Adjacent side here is OQ. Adjacent side here is OQ. So, what is OQ here? OQ is negative because it is towards the left of my origin. Since it is to the left of my origin, this is nothing but negative here. So, since this is negative and hypotenuse is neutral, so value of cos will be negative in my second quadrant. That is what we have seen. In second quadrant, only sign will be positive and the rest all will be negative. Let us look for tan here. Now, let us look for tan. What is tan here? Tan theta. Tan theta is nothing but opposite by adjacent. Opposite is positive, adjacent is negative. Positive by negative is nothing but negative. So, only sign is positive in my second quadrant. That is what they have told by S. So, you will have to remember this. ASTC. So, all signs are positive in first quadrant. Only sin is positive in second quadrant. Tan is positive in third quadrant. And cos and its inverse are positive in fourth quadrant. So, similarly, if you draw a triangle in my fourth quadrant, you will get only cos to be positive and my all the other angles, all the other ratios to be negative. Similarly, if you draw the triangle in my third quadrant, you will get only tan to be positive rest all to be negative. Hope this is clear to you. Have you people understood this? So quickly copy this down, pause the video, copy this down. Once you're done copying, we'll continue with the class. So now you've understood that the signs of all the trigonometric ratios in different quadrants. Now what do we need to understand, or what do we need to know to calculate the values for 135 degrees, 150 degrees and 225 degrees? What do we need to know? We need to know, for example, the value of sine changes to become cos and the value of cos changes to become sine in certain condition. And what is that condition? What do we need to, and how, when will these values change? For example, if I take a quadrant here, the same quadrant, if the values of sine or cos are changing or are moving across this 90 degrees, or if they are moving across 270 degrees, the value of sine and cos will interchange. What do I mean by value of sine and cos will interchange? We'll understand that once we are solving the problems, or once I take the examples. Now, if the value of sine or cos changes from these values, or any trigonometric ratio for that matter, if it changes 180 degrees, it will remain the same. Same way for 0 degrees or 360 degrees as well. Value, if they change here, it will remain the same. The value will not change. So what do I mean by this? Now let us take let me make two columns here, one for 0 or 360 degrees or 180 degrees. So in these conditions, the values, trigonometric ratios remain the same. Sine will always remain sine, cos will always remain cos, tan will always remain tan. Now, what about 90 degrees or 270 degrees? If it's 90 or 270 degrees, if it's 90 or 270 degrees, what happens? The value sine changes to cos and cos changes to sine. It will be vice versa. Similarly, what about tan? Tan changes to cot and cot changes to tan. Similarly for cosecant as well, cosecant changes to secant and secant changes back to cosecant. So what do I mean by this change? When does this value of sine cross 90 degrees? So let us understand. Let us take 135. My first angle 135. How can I write 135 as? 135 can be written as 90 degrees plus 45. Am I correct? The value of 135 can be written as 90 plus 45. Or what can 135 be written as? It can also be written as 180 minus 45, 180 degree minus 45 degrees. Look at these two conditions here. It is moving across this 90 degrees. It is moving from this 90 degrees, 90 plus something. Here what is happening? It is moving across this 180 degree line. That is 180 minus 45, meaning it will lie in this second quadrant here. So if I ask you to find out the value of sine 90 plus 45 or sine 180 minus 45, what will be the value here? The value will be, I told you, if the values are changing through this 90 degree line, what will happen? Sine will change to cos. So this will become cos of, we will have to neglect this 90 degrees and only write the last term, cos 45 degrees. Meaning sine of 90 plus 45 will be equal to cos of 45 degrees. So is it plus or minus? What is happening? It is second quadrant. So in second quadrant it is plus or minus. Generally people write it as minus. People write it as minus because you see the value cos and cos is negative in second quadrant. So you will directly take it as negative. No people, that is absolutely wrong. It is always positive. Why is it positive? We are not supposed to check the value for cos here. We have to check the value for sine. The initial value whichever they would have given. Initial ratio, we'll have to take the sine for that ratio. So in second quadrant, is sine positive or negative? Sine is positive. And what is the value of cos 45? Cos 45 is 1 by root 2. So value of sine of 90 plus 45 is 1 by root 2. You should get the same answer here as well. What is it? Sine of 180 minus 45. I told you when the value is moving across 180 degrees, sine always remains sine only. So it will be sine. Is it, what should be the angle here? Angle should always be the second angle. I'll have to neglect this 180 degrees and take it as sine of 45 degrees. What is the value of sine of 45 degrees? First, let me write down the sign. Is it positive or negative? You'll have to always check my first or the given question. This is sine 135. That is nothing but sine of 180 minus 45. So it is sine. In second quadrant, sine is positive. So I'll have to take positive. What is value of sine 45? Sine 45 is 1 by root 2. We have got the same answer here as well as here. Now, similarly, what about 150 degrees here? What about 150 degrees? Now, let us look at 150 degrees. How can 150 be written as? It can be written as 90 degrees plus 60 degrees. Or, how can it be written as? It can be written as 180 degrees minus 30 degrees. So, if I ask you to find out the value of sine 150 degrees, what will be the value? Sine 150 can be written as sine of 90 plus 60 or sine of 180 minus 30. Now, what is the sine? Sine is, what is the value of this? Sine of 90 plus 60, that is 150. Where does 150 lie? 150 lies between 90 and 180, meaning it will also lie in my second quadrant. Since it is in my second quadrant, what will be the value? What will be the sign here? It will be positive. So, since you got to know it is positive here, now you got to know it is positive. So, as I told you, when it is moving about 90 degrees, what happens? Whenever it is moving about 90 degrees, sign will change to cos. So, this will be plus cos of 60 degree. What is the value of cos 60? You people all know that. What is the value of cos 60? Cos 60 is nothing but 1 by 2. So, the value of sine of 90 plus 60 will be cos 60, that is also equal to 1 by 2. Now, what about sine 180 minus 30? Sine 180 minus 30, when it is moving about 180 degrees, the sign does not change. Sign will always be sine only. So, it will be sine. Is it positive or negative? Second quadrant, sine is always positive. So, it is 30 degrees. I'll have to take it as sine 30 degrees. Now, what is the value of sine 30? Sine 30 is again the same, that is 1 by 2. So, we are getting the same answer here because it is for the same angle that we are calculating, but we are using a little different method. Now, what if I ask you to calculate the value of cos 225? Cos of 225. How can I write it as? I can write it as cos of 270 minus 45. 270 minus 45. What will it be? 230 minus 5 is 225. I can also write this as cos of 180 plus 45. Cos of 180 plus 45. Where does 225 lie? Where does the angle 225 lie? It will lie in my third quadrant. It will be between 180 and 270 degrees. So, is the value of cos positive or negative in my third quadrant? The value of cos is negative in my third quadrant. Which is the one which is positive in my third quadrant? It is tan that is positive in my third quadrant. So, minus. What is the value of cos 270 minus 45? I told you, whenever we are dealing with 90 or 270, the value of cos changes to sine, sine changes to cos. So, this will be minus sine of 45 degree. So, what is the value of sine 45? 1 by 2. So, minus sine minus 1 by root 2 will be the value here. So, what about cos 180 plus 45? Whenever the values are moving about 180, the value trigonometric ratio do not change, they remain the same. So, cos will remain cos only. Is it positive or negative? Cos is negative in my third quadrant. Cos is negative in my third quadrant. So, it is minus. So, 180 plus 45, I should take it as cos of 45 degrees. So, what is the value of cos 45? Cos 45 is same as sin 45, that is nothing but 1 by root 2. Am I clear, people? Have you understood how to find the values for sine of 135, 150 and 225? You also understood how to find the value of cos of 225. Now, try to find out the values for other trigonometric ratios. For example, tan of 135 or tan of 225 or cosecant of 225. You people quickly try it down. You pause the video, try to find the other values of other trigonometric ratios for the same angles, get back with the answer. So people, you have understood how to find the basic angles for all the trigonometric ratios. You have also found out how to find the complex angles like 135, 150 and 225. All the others, finding out all the others also will be similar to these complex angles. Now, as I told you earlier, this is a basics class for trigonometry, and this class is very important, people. So whatever I have done in this class, please go back and watch it once again, so that you'll be easily solving the previous year problems. So this is very important, people. Mark my words, this is very important. Now, as I've told you, you have understood how to calculate the trigonometric ratios and how to find the basic angles of trigonometric ratios and the complex angles as well. Now what do? We move on to the next topic, that is nothing but trigonometric identities. Now, what are the identities that we have? We have three basic trigonometric identities. So which are those? First one, trigonometric identities. Which are the trigonometric identities that we have? The first one is sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. What is the second identity that we have? The second identity that we have is 1 plus tan square theta is equal to secant square theta. And what is the third identity that we have? The third identity that we have is 1 plus cot square theta is equal to cosecant square theta. These are the three basic identities. From this, we can also derive other identities. For example, we know that sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. Now, what is the value for sin square theta? Sin square theta will be equal to 1 minus cos square theta. Similarly, what is the value for cos square theta? Cos square theta will be equal to 1 minus sin square theta. So pay your attention here, people. This might be very simple. This might seem very simple. You'll be knowing sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. So sin square theta is equal to 1 minus cos square theta. This might seem very simple for you now. But then when you are writing the examination, you'll have to apply reverse engineering as well. Whenever you see 1 minus cos square theta, you might have to substitute it as sin square theta. Or whenever you see sin square theta, you will have to substitute it as 1 minus cos square theta. This application becomes difficult for you. So pay your attention. Try to memorize all these people. Try to memorize all these basic identities. So this is the most important identity for SSC. This is very important. So most of our questions will be asked on this identity. So make a note of this and try to write this down. What can tan square theta be written as? Tan square theta minus secant square theta will be equal to 1. So have a close look at this. Can we write this as a square minus b square is equal to 1? Isn't it this of the same form here? What is a square minus b square? A square minus b square is a plus b into a minus b. Similarly, in this condition, tan square theta minus secant square theta can also be written as tan theta plus secant theta into tan theta minus secant theta will be equal to 1. I can also write tan theta plus secant theta as 1 by tan theta minus secant theta. That's why I told you this is very important. This will be used everywhere, people. Now, what is the other way I can write this formula? In what other way can I write this? I can also write this as tan square theta is equal to secant square theta minus 1. So these are the different ways in which I can write this identity. Now, isn't this similar to this identity? Isn't my third identity similar to my second identity? So you people try to derive this. You people try to derive the other ways in which this identity can be written. Pause the video here, derive the other identities for this main identity. Once you're done with that, we'll continue with the class. That's all we have for the day, people. So this class is very important. Again, I'm telling you, I'm stressing this class is very important because this covers all the basics for trigonometry. From our next class, we'll start with the problems, our previous year problems that has been asked on these topics.